Antonia, who is a good friend of Linda's and actually is portrayed by somebody in the film. She was there.
So this film is not a documentary. It's like a film. Like with
You know what
movie
it
with a
is? It's
premise,
kind of, yeah, it's a movie with a premise, but it's also a documentary of
kind of
sorts.
like a biopic.
Because
She plays herself?
she plays herself, and she does a great job
Being
of-
herself.
of acting.
What's that?
What you listening to over there, Art? It's coming through our headphones.
Watching a different show.
he's,
Can't even hear. He's in his
He's
own little
listening to
world
it.
over there.
he's listening to a real radio program.
He's moonlighting over there.
He's checking his voicemails, right?
But Linda does such a great job. It'll be out on DVD eventually, she said.
Oh, good.
Well, we had the VIP party, which consisted of Prosecco and pizza. And the pizza was from it. I think it was Seabright Pizza, because that's where she had lived when this was all going on. And so she brought
and
the
they got the
pizza,
pizza. Oh, that's
from
classic.
there
Cool.
at the party.
I love that.
You know,
Little
there's
nod.
only about a dozen or so of us at the VIP thing, and then we all walked down the street to the theater, which was probably about half full, which was great. There were people off the street were there. She had a Q&A session afterwards, and
That's cool.
she set up and played 3 or 4 tunes that were in the movie.
There you go.
And you know, she
I've seen the
did a
trailer.
really good job, but
Nice.
it really chronicled her entire career from when she began playing guitar and singing and writing songs up to the whole thing with the Grammy Awards. And
Wow.
it's really, when it comes out, if it comes out with a larger distribution or the DVD, I highly recommend everybody gets it. Even if you don't know Linda. See, like I said, I know Linda, so I know what she
We're
went through.
Facebook friends and we chat.
She's
I saw her event come through. I just couldn't make it.
she's absolutely crazy, and that's why I love her. But you know, she,
Yeah, that makes sense with
She
you.
is just correct.
You only like crazy people?
Close. It's probably not too far off.
I
You
can't.
really?
Yeah, it's right, right.
It
It's
takes
like
one to know
The
one.
company I keep.
But no, she did a great job with that. And that was Wednesday, and then Thursday I published my weekly article with
Dee Snider.
Dee Snider, who was in an event called Rocktopia.
Rock
Dee
on.
Snider of Twisted Sister fame,
mhm.
you know. And there was a paragraph that I wrote that normally when I write, I try not to use any kind of obscenities or anything. You know, I don't want to change quotes, but I'll figure a way around it so that I don't have to put in
Use
all
the actual.
Sure,
the
you keep
F-bombs,
the expletives
so on
out
and
of
so
it. I
forth.
get it. I got you.
Well, there was a part of the paragraph he wrote, or he explained that he brought a little swagger to Rocktopia. Now, Rocktopia is a thing where there's a 30-piece choir on stage, a 20-piece symphony orchestra, and a 5-piece rock band. And together they play everything from Bach to Beethoven to Journey to Queen
Wow.
to Led Zeppelin to,
Wow.
you know, and they have these individual singers. There's an opera singer. There's Alison Cambridge, who was in Madame Butterfly and La Boheme. There's Dee Snider, Pat Monahan from Train has been in it. Robin Zander has been in it from Cheap Trick. And they got some other vocalists too. Well, he tells the story about this one vocalist just absolutely crushed, hit it out of the park on Alone by Heart. And when she came off stage,
That's such a great song, by the way. That's like, and it's not an easy song to sing.
right? Only that you would think only somebody like Ann Wilson would be able to.
It's
of
not
course,
an
wrote
easy
it.
song to sing.
Well, according to him, she absolutely crushes it, and she comes off stage, and he looks at her because now he's got to follow her, and he looks at her and says, "Hey, Chloe." Her name was Chloe Lowry. Hey, Chloe. F you. And she said she just went like her face,
Oops.
you know, her camera, you know, her face dropped. How dare you, right? And when he got done singing his song and he comes off stage, she comes over to him. She's like, Dee, what did I do? What was that all about? He says, no. That's my highest compliment. You know, you don't have to understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said that. Well, then he said by the end of his run, you know, even the opera singer's like, hey, Dee, you know.
So you published the actual.
So I actually published the words. Well, apparently people don't usually do that with Dee Snider, and he
He liked it.
retweeted the tweet and said, "I love when a publication keeps my f-bombs intact."
Oh.
So I'm wondering why my phone is buzzing. I'm getting all these
Your
Twitter
phone is
requests,
blowing up,
right?
yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. And thank you, D. Snyder.
Shout out.
Right?
Mhm.
And then I truly had a rock and roll week. It felt good to be back in the swing of things.
There we
so
go.
to speak. Because I've been out of it for quite a while due to health reasons, some lack of funds here and there.
But
so
we
on and
back
so
in the mix with Danny Colby.
That's right.
That's a new program.
Friday night, I stopped by the Knot, Art. I stopped by the Nottingham Tavern. Blind Lemon Pie. Just a classic rock cover band, but I used to spend some time jamming with the guy that's the head of the band, Larry Archer. I haven't seen those guys play in it's got to be 20 years.
I heard
And
that,
they're still together.
I heard they replaced the girl that was booking the band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't seen her actually.
New meat.
That would probably be a true
Yeah.
statement then.
Yeah.
But she wasn't there.
It's a good clue that he's right. Yeah.
But so it felt really good to get out and just support some local music, have a couple beers on my home.
Awesome.
So yesterday, though, there were 5 different shows that I wanted to see.
Forget about
Now,
it.
obviously, I can't be in all 5 places, but I did make 4 of them.
Wow.
That's where he draws the line, though.
Mhm.
I
Can't be
went
5.
Who didn't?
4 only. 5 out of
I
the
wanted
question.
to, if the 5th one wasn't across the big river in New Hope,
Oh.
at John and Peters in New
Mm.
Hope, Pennsylvania, but they were at the same time. So
It's not happening.
I would have missed one of
You
them.
need to
if I
rip a
went
hole
either
in
way.
space
Well, I
time.
mean, people have done
Right.
5 continents in one day.
Who are
But
these?
not
Who are
Danny.
these people?
Yeah.
Phil Collins, wasn't he? Didn't he fly and do like
That was 2
3
continents.
different shows?
No, that was
Yeah,
Live Aid.
5
continents.
Who's
That's
Phil
still-
Collins?
What, Antarctica?
Who's Phil Collins anyway?
That was like
Who even is that?
that was like 400 years ago.
That was Live Aid, 1985.
It was when all the continents were connected.
That's right.
was really
They
easy
just
to
did
do.
all
You play
one.
the Pangea tour.
Well, I went to see last night. I went to Randy Now's Man Cave in
Mhm.
Bordentown City.
Right.
I've never been.
Randy Now was the man that used to book all of the acts at City Gardens when City Gardens was up and running.
Okay.
Randy's got this store of nothing but vinyl and
Tchotchkes.
CDs
Weird
feel like
novel- weird,
I
weird
feel like
novelties.
CDs are older than records at this point.
and pretty much. But
They are, right?
I could tell you there's a list as long as
Bringing
my
back
arm,
8 tracks.
which isn't real long, but there's a list longer than my arm
It's lengthy.
of the amount of people that have slept on Randy's couch when he was booking acts at City Gardens. Everybody from the
Oh, yeah.
Ramones to Green Day to Henry Rollins to because
Rollins.
these acts used to all come through City Gardens. Nirvana, when they were before they, made
90s,
it.
man.
So, and of course, City Gardens is famous or infamous for Jon Stewart from The Daily Show tending bar there when he was going to Lawrenceville Prep. So he lived in Lawrence, which isn't that far from here.
Mhm.
So, but I went there to see none other than the, simply put, amazing Pat Gaddato.
Mm.
Now, Pat plays Jamians every Monday night, still until at least the end
Red
of
Bank.
January in Red Bank.
Okay.
This was his first ever show on the west coast of New Jersey.
We have
He's
West
never
Coast.
been this far west.
Wow.
Well, yeah, we have the Delaware
Yes.
River separates
Wow,
us
that's
from
true.
Pennsylvania.
All right.
But he and Pat just blew it away. I mean,
Shredded.
Nice.
no, he's an amazing guitarist.
Mhm.
Does a lot of finger picking stuff, and he's simply
Beautiful.
outstanding.
Awesome.
And his voice is just it's rich. It's not. He's just. I can't say enough good words about Pat Gaddato. So that wasn't disappointing. But from there, I went to the Nottingham Tavern again to
Mhm.
see our good friend James Cheadle,
Yeah.
Papa Cheadle, Laura Cheadle's dad, our friend Laura
Oh.
Cheadle. Papa Cheadle was playing with Joe Zook,
Oh yeah.
a member of the New Jersey Blues Hall of Fame. Joe Zook.
Mhm.
He is a legend in the Trenton area, and it was a great night of blues music. And then from there, I went to the Tiernanog to see our good friend Rick Winnow, and Rick wasn't there.
Oh, no. Oops.
The night was so slow that the owner sent told him he can go home if he wanted. I got there at like 10:30 and the place was packed. I said, "What the hell happened to Widow?"
Right.
So he says up until like 9:30 there was 2 people in here. I told him he can go home if he wanted.
Was
So
it
I go to Rick. I'm like, I'm on my way, and he texts me. I'm not there.
oh no!
Could have told me that before I left.
Yeah.
So so that kind of was a dud. But
But you made it.
then from there, I went to Pete's Steakhouse, Art, to see Springwood.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they were
I
here.
I saw that they were
SW.
here.
Springwood,
Yeah.
former Rock on Radio guests.
Yeah.
And yes, they were there. And I stayed there till 1:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And I went home where I belong.
Well, no.
So it's been a rock and roll weekend, culminated by Mr. Rockwell.
Woohoo!
Culminated.
Culminated.
Ooh. We culminate the weekend right here. That's cool.
That's right. So
Wow, that's an awful sound. Oh, and you get mad at me if I hit the table. You're like making like crazy
hear
noises.
ye, hear ye.
Yeah, why are you being this way?
I am being this way.
Because he was out till 2:00 in the
Why-
morning last
why
night,
are you
obviously,
like-
for 3 nights in a
I
row.
just explained to you why I'm acting like this.
So what's going on, Mr. Rockwell?
Oh man,
Funny you should ask.
I'm here, and
Luckily.
that's because I survived yesterday.
So what happened yesterday?
Yesterday, I launched my first proper book of poetry
Mm,
and my spoken word pieces in a
cool.
book, and it got published. And I did a book signing and reading at the Barnes and Noble in the Monmouth Mall, and it was packed. It was
Cool.
it was really awesome.
Nice.
Okay, I have 2 questions. 3 questions, actually.
All right, let's hear him.
What is the title?
True Romantic Loser.
Oh.
Okay. Do you have one with you?
No, I sold them all.
He sold out.
Wow.
Nice. When's your second printing?
Yep. So I'm like today, I had to go
Oh.
online because I'm leaving for tour on the 30th
You need a few books.
with Chill Smith, who is unfortunately can be here tonight, although it's his birthday. So birthday shout out
Woohoo.
to our boy. But yeah, I'm like, I need books. I sold out. And I'm like, you better send them like yesterday.
Where
Wow.
are you going on tour, and what will you be doing on tour? Because you have multifaceted. You are a multifaceted entertainer.
I try to be. So we're gonna be doing. It's like a hip hop and spoken word tour.
Okay.
We're gonna be. The furthest we're going is Las Vegas.
Oh,
Nice.
That's on November 7th is the date that we have in Vegas. And then we have a few gigs on the way out, a few gigs back. And we're going to be in the Phoenix area for a while.
somebody have relatives or friends there? Or you
Yeah,
just,
like, so my best friend Janelle moved out there, and she was the project manager for my Rockwell Rebel Radio album, which I promoted with your show. That was like a
What's her last
first
name?
time. You did. Janelle Kastner Jackson. Yeah, that was I think it might have been the first time I was with you. I think.
that's the girl with the long hair, right?
The braids, dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she moved out
I didn't
there.
realize she.
Yeah, it was recently, just this summer, and we've been meaning to go out there and visit her. So I was like, well, we'll just go out there because she's in Phoenix.
Mm.
Phoenix is like, it's such a great area that I'm learning now that she's there. That's right,
Mhm.
Mesa, Tucson,
Mhm.
Scottsdale, Glendale, like they're
Mhm.
all right in that area. And I'm like, and there's all cool things going on in all those places. So I'm like, we need to go out there and like case the joint. We need to check out the scene and see
Right.
what it's about. Maybe we can
Well, just in
get
case,
something going on.
just in case you need it, I have a buddy, a very good friend of mine, who's a Phoenix cop. I'll give
So
you his
when you
name.
get into jail,
Yeah.
he can help spring you.
So many people have been like, I know somebody who runs a mic over there, or I know somebody who does a poetry show. And
Just in case.
but
always.
the most helpful was what Danny just said.
That's right.
I know a cop.
I know a cop out there. Don't
If
worry
you
about it.
need bail money.
If you get in trouble.
That's funny because I just sent you the bail money song that I did with
Oh God.
Chill.
Perfect.
He
You
was.
should have that.
He actually, for the first 10 years I worked at UPS, he was a UPS driver.
Your cop friend?
My cop friend. He said, "You know what? Screw this. I'm moving out to Phoenix to become a cop."
Now it's the
There
same
you
thing,
go.
but with a gun.
It's
Pretty
the
much.
same thing with a
Because
gun.
He used
Driving
to deliver.
around.
Oh man, he used to deliver some really crappy, hardcore ghetto areas all day long. He's like, "Forget this. I'm going out to be a cop in Phoenix."
Gotta be here. Might as well make more money.
That's right. Let me forward this on to Art. So, all right. So you go. When are you leaving?
The 30th.
Oh, okay. So that's coming up quick.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Just the two of you, or is there a? Yeah.
Just
so
the pair of us. Yeah.
okay. So who put that together for you? You, or did you
We
have
did it
help?
ourselves.
All right. Okay. So where
We do everything.
Where are the shows going to take place?
We've got Cleveland, Wichita, Vegas, Boston.
So you're driving it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's the only way I'll do it.
Oh.
For sure.
I mean, continental. That's the only way I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I know I'm like leaving. I'm doing Spain in
5
December.
continents with Phil Collins and
Yeah,
Art.
Art's gonna come with me. Art, we're gonna do the Pangea tour. Yeah.
5 continents in 45 minutes.
That's more than the Concorde.
Yeah, right. The Concorde. I arrived before I left.
That's like a Star Trek thing.
I was on Concorde. I
Beam
was
me
on the
up, Scotty.
Concorde before.
You were?
Yeah, and I kicked the habit. Thank God. Concorde grapes are sweet.
Oh God, this is.
I made Concord great.
Well, it was
jam.
nice seeing all of you.
See?
I'll be on my way.
Yeah, you
the
can't
only
follow
con-
that.
It's the only Concorde I've ever been on.
It's spelled different, isn't it?
So him.
What does that matter? We're on the radio. No one's spell checking us. It just,
Everything
just
has
sounds like
Well,
that.
how he pronounces it. It's always
Whatever it
important.
Get out of here. Pronounce it, Chris.
All right. So I mentioned several seconds ago that
You have
you
3
are
questions?
a multifaceted artist.
Yes.
So what made you go from music and hip hop, rock to you kind of went through phases with that even with your
Maybe.
music. You know, you started out kind of rockish, then you went to kind of more hip hopish, and then you combined the two. And
I've been rapping the whole time.
I know, but
Truth be told, I'm not much of a singer. I can kind of get by sometimes. That's all I'll say. I don't
Fake
like.
it till you make it.
Yeah, I don't brag to. No, it's not even that.
No,
It's
no.
never gonna make it. No, I'm not faking it. I just don't. What I can do, I do, and what I can't do, I just don't do it. I don't even try.
That's
So I
like
try.
Bob Dylan.
Like, yeah, he stayed in his
Yeah,
lane,
he did.
and
He
he
did his
killed
thing.
it. He killed it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't sing. He just
He did what he did. He
Talk.
stayed in his lane, and he did his, and that was awesome.
You made it blue.
So, but like phase, I don't know. I've always done all of them.
Okay.
They kind of
Now-
like, you know what it is? Maybe it's waves. Like I do let myself get pulled in what I'm feeling. But my process for writing songs and writing poems is not very different.
Okay.
Especially with rap music, it really like lends itself well to spoken word, like without a beat, it works.
It does, yeah.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
So
Lyrical.
yeah, so for me to go back and forth and in between all those, it always felt natural to me. It always felt very seamless.
So what made you want to write a book of your poetry? I didn't realize you even had that much.
Oh man, that's so. So I have. Okay, so there when I first started touring, it was way easier to get shows doing poetry than doing rap music because most venues don't want rap music, and that's mostly because of racism because they don't want black people and they don't want quote that element in their venue. So by de facto you're all not allowed to play. We don't do rap, and that's like the common thing that you would hear.
Well, let me stop you.
Go ahead.
Right there. Number one, I don't cater to rap on this program.
Sure.
I do rock in and rock out
Mhm.
at 6 and 9:30, where I do feature nothing but rappers and hip hop artists.
Right.
But for this show, I don't cater to that.
And you don't
element.
have to.
And well, let me explain
Oh
why.
yeah, go ahead,
though.
go ahead.
I don't cater to that quote unquote element because I like to run a clean show. You don't.
And by and large, rap music is not. the
You should
cleanest
hear
genre.
some of the
I got you.
interviews I've done at 6 and 9:30.
Sure.
If Art censored them, there would be
No
nothing.
Now,
Pretty
but I
much.
have a remark for that.
Okay.
You just said you do both. You are accommodating. You just compartmentalize them for your listenership,
Right.
and that makes sense.
Mhm.
And I understand why I'm here because I'm crossover because I kind of like do both, and I get that. So that there's something to be said about what you're doing. What you're doing is tremendous. There are some people who don't do what you're doing, who don't even like bother to compartmentalize. They just say no and just close the door before they even open it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like kind of the thing that has been kind of a roadblock a little bit. Sometimes I get by because I'm crossover, because like there are people like, I can work with this, but with spoken word, especially when I was in poetry slams, that was it was like super easy because poetry slams are almost like open mics. They happen every week or every month or whatever. They have a built-in crowd. They have their little community, and then you show up and you're just like, can I feature? And they go, yeah. You can do a 20-minute set right before the show starts, and then they'll pass a hat for you, or we'll give you $50 or whatever, and you show up from city to city in front of a packed house, in front of a built-in crowd. So I was like, that makes more sense than me trying to book clubs like the Saint. The Saint is amazing, but like if I when I go play the Saint, I love playing the Saint, but when I go play, like we were down in Jacksonville and there was a place called Nighthawks. It was cool. It was so awesome. It was like their Saint, but there was like next to nobody there. Like I'd rather go do something where I know the crowd's going to be if I can help it. So I ended up early on when I was touring doing more spoken word. I made a lot more connections, so I just ended up doing that. But I just love doing music, so I just toe the line, do both. But what I've been doing lately, what we did last year when I went on tour with Chill, was that we just said, well, we'll take whatever hip hop. We'll call it a hip hop and spoken word tour. We both can do both. He does more rap, I do more poetry. We both can do both things, and it was like one of the best tours I ever did. He's like the coolest dude to tour with. He's awesome.
See, one thing I find about venues and clubs and club owners, I don't find the racist angle that you spoke of. What I find is the color that they favor is green.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
So they're not going to care. I mean, of course, if you're a black artist, you might not want to go to Bob's Country Bunker like the Blues.
Right.
Brothers.
I understand.
Like the Blues. But
throwback.
But if you're going to
the good old boys.
Well, I look at as an example here in Trenton. There's two bands that I love to death: Honey Spot Boulevard.
Oh,
Charles
Jessica.
Charles Larita and the Mischief.
I don't know them.
Okay, Charles did my theme song. Him and Will Sarber did the theme song that you heard tonight.
Cool.
And they are the two best live bands. Matter of fact, Hitch at the Saint, the sound guy.
Yeah.
Remember Hitch? He one night, him and I were outside when I went to see Charles, and he said, "Dan, this is the tightest young live band I've ever heard or seen in my life.
Nice.
Thanks for sending them to us."
Yeah.
And those guys, they're original. They're the only two bands in the area that do an entire night of 90-some, I'd say probably 95% original music.
Sure. Amazing. Well, Honey Spot Boulevards.
At a cover club. At a cover club. And the owner doesn't care because
they bring the people out and make money. Sure. But I mean, like that's like, I don't know how much we want to get into that. I kind of was just saying it because it was something I encountered,
Oh yeah, we all do.
But there's definitely like double standards that are there, like where certain shows I'm like I don't want people bringing knives and drugs into my club, and I'm like, well, then these hardcore shows shouldn't be here either because they're
right. Yeah.
But you're booking them, and I'm wondering why. Right, that's what I'm saying. So like you say when they say that element, it doesn't really compute with me because I know what they're really saying. So
well, that's another element that I try not to have on here either. Hardcore metal,
sure.
Any of that.
It doesn't fit format. I totally get when people have a format. That's not what I'm talking about. What you're doing is cool, and
it's music.
I think the first time I came on the show, you had someone here who could beatbox, and we were doing live stuff. Who was that? It was a chick. She was so talented.
Yeah. Who was it? Oh,
Christine or Heather?
My co-host was Christine. Yeah, Floyd.
Yes. But it wasn't.
She couldn't beatbox.
No. It wasn't. It was Christine was there. I don't remember. But it was awesome. It was so cool. And you were like, you were totally down with it. And I was like, I like this guy. I'm gonna go back to the show. Whenever he wants me, I'm gonna be back. It was so great. But like for touring, it's tough.
I'm
It's tough.
sure.
It's tough booking your own tour, and you can never start early enough. Like I didn't even start this tour, and I'm already booking for February's tour because you just can't start early enough.
Did you ever
No.
think of doing anything like on Facebook, like say Jay Shetty or Prince E, or if you say his name right? I mean, they do all that kind of stuff. He does a whole spoken word thing, whole social commentary. It's all pretty professionally done. You ever seen their stuff?
No, what is it like? Just they do Facebook
I'll
Live
show
or
it to you.
something?
No, that's productions. They're full on production.
And what do they just do? Put them on Facebook?
Yeah, it's a whole following. It's
I've done
pretty
something like
national.
that with Bartlett Lentini. He's awesome. He did a video of mine. I'll have to send it to you, but like it's just like me going like right into the camera a cappella, and it got like 1,000 views in 2 days. It was cool.
It's huge. I mean, that kind of stuff is around a lot.
So that's
Share it.
kind of the idea that I'm kind of starting to do, which is Chris versus the world, and it's like versus chorus bridge like verses, and it's gonna be me like whenever I'm on tour in different like cities, and do just like one verse into the camera on location, and then it's gonna be like a YouTube series, Chris versus the world, and then we're gonna in December I'm figuring out, but it's likely I'll be going to Spain, so I'm gonna probably do Madrid and Barcelona, and then in Ontario in the spring. So it's gonna start like the goal is to start in the States, but then have it actually be me traveling the world and like going and doing poetry and rapping all over the globe.
For those of you at home, that's count them, 2 continents.
Ooh, I like it.
Ooh.
Art's our
In how many
continental
days?
advisor.
Yes. Counts continents.
Art's over there like story checks out. 2 continents.
I want to buy a vowel.
Continent count 2.
You're just tuning in. This is Rock On Radio. I am Danny Coleman, and our guest this evening is Chris Rockwell.
What up?
Well, what are you going to do for us?
Well, we can. Do you want me to do a thing live? I could do a thing.
Sure.
I could do a thing.
You can do multiple things live.
That's true. That's true. I sent you things too.
You sent
Send
me
you
2
songs.
things.
We could do a song
So I have to
first.
spread them out.
Here's the thing. Can we do a song first?
Sure.
Okay. The bail money one.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
that'd
the
be
one that we
perfect.
released early in the summer, so I have a story to go with it. So that's good.
All right. So what's the story?
So Chill and I have 2 songs. We did an EP last year. We released it in October, and it was called The Rockstar Scenario. And we kind of put it together all DIY, did it ourselves, did it in a month, and we booked a show with Peter at Langosta Lounge, and we donated the money to the survivors of Hurricane Maria down in Puerto Rico. Ended up being like $500 that we sent down there, or something like that. And we sold out the CDs in a night, and then all the sales online we donated as well. So, but this song we wrote on tour, pretty much, and it's basically about going on tour and getting in trouble, and you have to
Meeting a
bring
policeman.
you have to bring bail money with you, or like on vacation. Like you can't vacation unless you have
To
bail money.
anticipate.
Which I was
to
inspired by
anticipate.
a lot of like friends who actually did it.
Not in Phoenix anymore.
Nope. He won't need
You
bail
won't
in
need bail
Phoenix.
money in Phoenix.
could be like
No,
Leonard.
this is what I like. This is
Leonard Skinner had a guy
Burgers.
with like
We'll
$1 million
just
in a briefcase. Just
Yeah,
for-
right. You know,
right. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I find funny? I was thinking about this a little bit ago, and I mean, ha funny that I've lived long enough and been in this business long enough where there's pretty much places all over the North American continent I can go where I know somebody and could probably crash for the night if I had to.
That's awesome.
I'm serious.
I'm sure you are.
You know, everybody from Dominatrix that I know in Canada to
Heyo! Get him,
That's
Danny.
a whole other story.
Get him, Danny.
To a to Florida, to the West Coast.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm working on.
That's
You've got a head start on me though.
I got probably about 25 years.
Aspirations in life.
I want to be just like Danny Coleman.
I wanna have
Teach me to
someone in
rock
every
on like you
port.
do.
Actually, the Dominatrix is a funny story. When Rock On Radio first started,
Tell the story.
the second episode, the second show of Rock On Radio was down on that station. I'm not sure if you were there or not. The one way down south of Burlington, back in the woods, in the huge church compound, WIFI.
Was it like a
1460.
loft
Yeah, we were up in, yes.
with the little with
Yep.
the ceiling?
No, that was the second one.
Oh, okay.
but we were.
That's the one I was at first.
Okay. All right. So there was this church compound down in southern Burlington County.
Okay.
And
Talk about it.
they had a radio station, WIFI 1460 AM radio. So the second episode, my guests were very good friends of mine and a band that I've performed with on occasion called Afferent Q. And they knew somehow, and I still don't know why or how, but they knew this dominatrix in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I didn't know this until after the show because this woman called the show 3 times. And our engineer, who was the original engineer, Art, Art,
Yeah, the one and only.
Art was just as new at radio as I was. So he kept hanging up on her. And she's calling from Canada.
Why was he hanging up on her?
Because he was trying to put her on hold and he kept disconnecting her.
Oh, it was
there was
accidental.
He wasn't used to the phones yet. So
How do phones work?
finally she gets through and she's like, "Hi, this is Morgana from Canada. I keep trying to call, but your engineer keeps hanging up on me."
Aww.
and from that point on,
She's just sweet little
we just stayed in
dominatrix.
contact, and her and I talk rather frequently, actually.
Oh, really?
So she's your dom or what?
I have never met her. Never met her face to face. Art's cracking up. I have never met her face to
It's got a
face.
dom, a tranny.
I got all kinds of things.
What do you need?
Yeah, right. But the most important is a cop in Phoenix.
That's
That's
right.
what matters for Rockwell.
Exactly right.
Our guest tonight is Chris Rockwell, and what is this tune? It's called
Bail money.
Bail Money. All right, there. Art got it hooked up. There you go. Rock on radio.
That's why we get in the truck and we don't slow down. That's why we get in the truck and we don't turn around. If we come back to this town, we're gonna burn it down. I'm going to the hotel rooftop screaming. Can't believe I'm still breathing. Listening to Tupac, suckers still scheming. They want my spot, they can keep dreaming. I'm looking down, I might jump, I don't know. Drying out now, I gotta go. Nothing is what's left in the bottle from last night. It feels like a past life. Yeah, the early morning's trying to shoot me down. Sunshine ain't so gun shy. We never checked out the front desk. The bell hot was upset. We wrecked the joint and just left. Back in the valley in a bucket change. Keep it low like I'm ducking strays. I don't run from the flashing blue and red, but nobody's chasing us. I think it's all in my head. Like, hey, that's the way. Somebody gotta cast it. Hey, bring down money on big chase. Bring down money on big chase. Hey, that's the way. Somebody gotta cast it. Hey, bring down money on big chase. Bring down money on big chase. We doing 90 on the 55. Ride it clean, but we don't be seen like we just committed homicide. That's us in the great truck. People for the art, we don't compromise on pace up. Feeling tipsy about the liquor that I never had. I text women, LOL, but I never laugh. Too stoic, too cool, too relaxed, too shy, too quiet. I'm in the best, so okay, on, but I do not diss. My ex sound like Biggie, give me one more chance. Fresh out the telly, no tip for the bell hot. Fresh out the cash, we send the money to your mailbox. Do we show why the hell not? I'm seeing lights, but I don't think that that's a real cop. We living life over here like it never stop. Photos the only thing that's getting shot. Hey, that's the way. Somebody gotta cast it. Hey, bring down money on big chase. Bring down money on big chase. Hey, that's the way. Somebody gotta cast it. Hey, bring down money on big chase. Bring down money on big chase. They've been hitting us up for so long now. That's why we get in the truck and we don't slow down. That's why we get in the truck and we don't turn around. 'Cause if we go back to this town, we're gonna burn it down.
Chris Rockwell.
Hey,
Was that written from experience? What's going on there?
Well, it was kind of like I went on this trip with some friends, and they were like, they do it every year, and they said you get one free bailout from us, and then after that, you got to bring your own bail money. And I was like, what? They're like, if you get arrested for the first time, we all chip in and bail you out, but you only get one of those. You get one. After that, you got to bring your own bail money, and bail yourself out. I was like, okay,
That's harsh.
all right, fine.
So did you cash in on that get out of jail free card?
I mean, I'm not gonna like drag myself on air right now. I'm not gonna like cop to a crime on air.
You don't have to cop to the crime. You just have to tell me whether you got out of jail.
I've been got out of jail so many times. Yeah, I don't know if I ever paid for my own self to get out of jail. But
Generosity of others.
when we were going on that tour last year, Will was like, bring a bunch of beats, that we can maybe write to while we're on the road. I was like, yeah, sure. So he came over to my house and we were listening to something. I played him that one. He was like, yeah, bring that one. So he kind of like wrote something, and then I wrote something. Like it was pretty much like the first song that we came up with when we didn't have any direction first. It kind of just whatever came out, that was it. And it was pretty cool. It was cool. And so we put it on that EP and donated the money. But this year we re-released it. We re-released 2 songs from that EP. They were very DIY. They were real hastily done. We wanted to just do something just to do it. But those songs we really liked, and we were like, they probably deserve a better mix and a proper mastering. And, so we kind of like revamped them, touched them up a little bit, and re-released them this year. And they were mastered by Jesse Cannon, who works with like, The Cure, Limp Bizkit. So he mastered both of those tracks.
How'd you make that happen?
He's in Brooklyn, and the one engineer who worked with me on 10 Years in the Breaking, which is the record I was here earlier in the year talking with you about, Zach Slater, he recommended him because Zach Slater has like toured with MTV and did live sound for them, and he's done a few awesome records. And he was like, you know who you should really get to master this? Jesse Cannon. And he gave me the website, he gave me the contact info, and I was like, all right, that sounded cool. And Will had actually not heard of him, so I was like, when we were talking about getting these tracks mastered, I was like, I think we should go through Jesse Cannon. That's who Slater said we should go through. And he was like, well, can I listen to some of his work? I've never, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, The Cure, Limp Bizkit, Dylan. He's like, oh, yeah, okay, well, yeah, send me the link. So I sent him, and we were like, yeah, we're doing it. And they came out great. They sound great. We're really happy with them.
All right. So how'd you get strike up this partnership with Chill Smith?
How did I strike up my partnership with Chill Smith? That is so much fun. We went to school together in 2008.
I met him in jail.
We didn't have bail money yet.
We're stuck.
We were cellmates. I say classmates. He hears cellmates. Yeah. No, we were in an engineering school together, actually, on the Lakehurst Naval Base, probably like 2008.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was like a few people. Most of them were just like really young dudes who just wanted to wear black T-shirts and learn how to record their own bands, And he was like, he had more of an interest in it, and so did I. We both were into hip hop music, so we kind of just like gravitated towards each other, and we just became friends. It was really like happened just like that. It was easy. He's a real great dude.
Okay, where's he from?
Originally Patterson.
Oh.
He lives now in Ocean County. He lives down by me, but like, yeah, he's up from. He spent most of his life in Patterson.
Okay, so how did you get involved with Bob Macon and the benefit that's coming up on the 16th and 17th?
So,
which I'm going to pull up right now. I'm not turning my back to you.
No, of course, that's totally cool. Yeah. I think Bob and I just kind of connected online. I think we have a lot of mutual friends from New Jersey Stage and from the Aquarian, and I follow as much of the local music journalism as I can because I just want to be supportive, and it's part of the scene. It's not just the musicians; it's people writing about us too. So Bob kind of reached out to me, and I mean, we'd been connected for a while, but like he reached out and asked me about my 10 years in the breaking record, and he was like, "Can I write a review of your record?" And that record really wasn't an album that I sent out to get reviewed, or I didn't really do too much with it after my record release party, because I really made that album to get it out of my system. You know, there was a lot of
I recall you saying that.
yeah, there was a lot of like really moody
Process.
stuff on there. Yeah, and so I just when it was done, I was like, okay, I can let a lot of this go. And usually I'm like making music videos and booking like interviews and doing stuff like that after the fact. But I kind of just was like, I felt like I did what I
It's complete.
yeah, kind of.
Mhm.
But he was the only one who really reached out and was like, "Can I write an interview?" Well, one other person did, but he did, and I was like, "Sure." And he wrote a review, and he actually wrote a couple of really nice quotes about me and about the record. I was like, just told him I was very grateful for the kind words, and kind of been in touch. And he reached out, and he asked me about the show, and I was like, "Yeah, I try and do a food drive and a clothing drive every November and December." So I was like, "Yeah, sure." And that I said that's about the time when I'm coming home from tour too, so we'll make that my welcome home show. And he's like, "Yeah." And then he came out because I played Yacht Club, I guess last month with Pamela Flores. She was like
Right.
in my band for the night, and he came out and took a bunch of pictures and hung out in the front all night. He was like such a good vibe in the room.
As you know, she was here last week.
Yes, because I
Thank
called.
you for listening.
Yeah.
Of course.
Calling in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I listen. I do.
I she was so cute.
I
wanted to
love
keep
her,
her.
yeah.
I'm like, can we
I
keep
love
her?
I love her.
Pam is one of my favorite human beings. I
She's-
love her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was very sweet.
she and I vibe like.
And that
Real
voice,
hard.
I didn't expect that voice out of her.
What'd you expect?
I don't know, but she's got a gutsy, bluesy voice. and
Yeah.
I figured something with a little less edge, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Oh, she digs deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was very excited. to
Having
hear
having her in my band for that show made everyone step their game up. And I was like watching it when we were in rehearsals, like you could see everyone was just like, you know, on their best behavior and like making sure they were tight, because she is like super tight, and she was like such a good energy that we were like, oh, we gotta elevate here. We gotta make sure that she doesn't show us all up and steal the whole show,
singing, right?
which she basically did anyway.
Well,
It's
kind of
inevitable.
like Dee Snyder.
Oh yeah, like just
F you.
this guy
Uh,
stealing the whole show.
right? Well, here it is. Actually, Bob Making Waves, of course, is a columnist. He's written for the East Coast Rocker, the Aquarian. One of the newspapers? Say Asbury? No, one of the major.
Harper's?
Maybe I forget. But he has this event coming up, and I'm going to read you the post directly from Facebook people. So every Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter, Asbury Park's Langosta Lounge and its Food for Thought nonprofit host a holiday dinner for the homeless and the hungry. Given how much Langosta and the adjacent Asbury Park Yacht Club do for the local music scene, these free shows will help offset the costs of these dinners. With artist support, a silent auction for valuable sponsor prizes, a 50-50 raffle, individual donations, and a canned food drive. Now, donating their time and talent and pay will be on Friday, November 16th at the Langosta Lounge, Black Suburbia Music Group, Cook Douglas, and Evangelia, who will be in here on November 4th with Drew the Recluse.
Drew is awesome.
Who is playing the Yacht Club on the very same night, along with the Cold Seas. The Cold Seas, actually, featuring Drew the Recluse.
Yeah, they have a song together that they just did.
Wet Brain, and Sonic Bloom. And then on November 17th, we have another great band at Langosta, Dez and the Swagmatics. Our friend Pamela Flores. And then Tara Dente, who will be here on November 11th.
She's like one of my favorite human beings.
Claire and I saw Tara at the last Making Waves event.
Asbury Park Brewery.
September, that was, I guess. At the
No,
Asbury Park Brewery.
August.
August?
It was sometime in August.
And that's the first I've seen Tara in several years, since she moved and then came back. And wow.
Yeah,
I was
she
just
was
like,
awesome.
wow, totally different sound. And she is just went from fabulous to just outright fantastic now. Who else? Ooh, also on the 17th at the Yacht Club,
Woo!
Chris Rockwell,
Woo!
featuring Chill Smith, Experiment 34, and Nalani and Serena. So
Who
that's
I've
all.
yet to see.
You've never
I've
seen
heard-
Nalani and Serena?
Right.
Oh,
and
they're
I've-
freaking great.
I know, and I've heard nothing but like
Phenomenal.
awesome things.
Yep.
And a lot of people who come and see my shows love them.
Oh, they're
So I'm like playing gig
well.
with
They
them. I'm like,
incorporate a little bit of hip hop in their thing.
That's
you
what
know?
I
They're-
heard things. I heard things.
They're beautiful. They're talented. They're multi-instrumentalists, and they are just all around good kids, man. They're great people to deal with. They're twins. Nalani is.
Yeah.
They're fabulous.
There's two of them.
Do you imagine that?
Could you imagine if there was two of me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Let's see. Silent auction items throughout the weekend will include artwork by Arroyo Art Studio, gift baskets from Bond Street Complex, The Brew Tea Spot, Cheryl Macon, Steeped Tea Consultant, Russo Music, Asbury Park, gift certificates and t-shirts from the Langosta Lounge, Pop's Garage and Mexican Cantina, Mogo of Asbury Park, Silver Ball Museum Arcade, and a signed book and t-shirt from the Danny Clinch Transparent Gallery.
Nice.
So you can check that out. And then each item donated to the food drive will be redeemed with one raffle ticket for the 50-50. So you can do that. Sponsors, of course, for the event are the Aquarian Weekly, Asbury Music, Brookdale Public Radio, 90.5 The Night, 1450 WCTC. Let me see here. Who else? Oh, where'd it go?
Me.
Chris Rockwell. I lost it now, see? Because
That's it.
Jody Weber is commenting away on my
Yes,
stuff.
she
and
is.
gotten away. So I
the
got.
same comment.
I have to pull it back. Here we go. Get that back up there. Okay.
Did you say anything about bulletproof bevel?
No, no.
No.
Bulletproof Belv.
Belv.
1450
Manny Carla.
WCTC, Jersey Rock, New Jersey Stage Magazine, for whom Bob and I
Mhm.
both write.
Right.
Radio Jersey, all Jersey all the time. The Rat, WRAT 95.9 FM. And here's my favorite.
Mhm.
Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio.
Woo! Sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in there with the big
Oh, yeah.
boys. You see that? The Rat at 90.5?
Well, you're a big boy.
Yeah.
1450.
My girth has nothing to do with this.
I didn't say that.
So that's November 16th and 17th at the Langosta
Nice.
Lounge. It's free. Just bring some canned food and you get 50-50 tickets,
Mhm.
so on and so forth. And
Buy
there's Chris
into.
Rockwell.
Mhm.
Chris is snapping pictures like crazy.
Yes,
I did.
Yes.
Okay, so
What?
right now
What do you see?
I'm eating chocolate
Mhm.
because it's good. It's dark
Mhm.
mint.
What other
chocolate.
radio
Yep.
show gives you chocolate?
None.
Literally zero.
Okay.
That's how many.
What other radio show gives you 2 hours?
There's others,
Really?
but they don't give me chocolate.
For 2
You're
hours.
focusing on the wrong kind of details. Thing.
I don't
No.
know of any other radio shows
I'm
that
saying-
dedicate 2 hours to one artist.
So I put on my Snapchat that I was gonna go live, and they could swipe up for the link. And
It didn't work.
no,
Oh, it did work. Okay.
and then I put ask me anything, I'll answer on air.
Okay.
And I'm getting ridiculous like questions of like I don't want to answer them.
Well, what
Oh.
are they? Well, you can't throw that out there and then renege on the.
This person said,
invite.
"Do you love me?"
Tell them yes.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
but is it true?
Yes.
Who cares?
Yes, not as much
What
as
do you mean?
chocolate.
Who cares? You tell somebody you love them. If it's good, you gotta be honest about it.
Yes, not as much as chocolate.
There you go. We got a phone
Ah.
call. See? Hello, welcome to the Rock On Radio. Who's this?
James Alton.
Ah!
Nice. He's gonna hang up now.
Is that,
That was it.
that was it?
Why are you gonna hang up?
Oh.
Listen, just because you didn't get chocolate on Out and About Radio, Mr. Rockwell, doesn't mean my show wasn't better. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, it tastes. This tastes better.
Listen, I don't know why you're so butthurt about this.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. Just teasing.
all right. So is this?
You don't have a chocolate eclair. That's all.
No, on my show we didn't do chocolate during Out and About Radio. But my show's
I
not
had
important. What's
lemonade.
important is Rock on Radio's show is important, and Chris Rockwell is important. That's what's going on.
He's such a sweetheart.
Rockwell on radio. That's the deal.
I'm thinking about changing it.
How did we not say that
Rockwell on
already?
radio?
We
James,
dropped the ball.
James, what's the name of your radio
Yes.
show?
It's Screwed Dan. No, it's called it's called Out and About Radio, and it's only a segment. It's not a full show. It's just a segment. That's why it's not important. It's not important.
Oh.
It's a 15 to 20 minute segment, but I was there for 2 hours. That's
It
why
felt like
it
2
felt like a
hours.
same
It
day.
felt like 2 hours.
We had to
And he
cut
didn't give me
most of what
chocolate, but
Rockwell
he
had
gave me
to say.
lemonade.
So
Which was nice.
okay, so I was going to change the name of this program to whatever yours was. But since it's only a segment, I'm not going to go there. I'll just deal with Rockwell myself.
It's okay, Danny, because I'm on terrestrial radio. It's fine. Sorry, I'll just
That's okay.
No, anyway,
Say hi
No,
to the
that's
rest of
fine,
the
whatever.
dinosaurs for me, will you?
I will.
Now, how can we find your show?
Restless.
Now, you feature. Tell us about your show.
You
I'm
can-
all about the music.
No, it does. My show's not a music show. It's not. It's an interview show.
Okay.
It's not a music show.
You interview
Yeah, it's an interview
musicians?
show. I interview
Well,
everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Matter of fact, I've had and by everybody, Danny. What I mean is that, like, yes, I'm kidding around. I've had Rockwell on the show, and we talked about some different things. But I've had I've interviewed archaeologists that were doing digs in Africa. I've talked with education specialists. I've done all kinds of things.
Oh, that's very cool.
He's very
Nice.
well
That's a very
rounded.
cool
And
show.
I do across the board stuff. I don't just. I didn't want to just focus on musician characters.
Okay.
I spoke with yoga instructors about what they're doing with beach yoga and stuff. It's a very fluffy, community minded kind of thing. And then
Where can we find
I
it?
will talk to musicians.
Where can we find it?
Oh, we're on we're on Sunday mornings on Brookdale Public Radio
Oh, okay.
on Real Radio, and then we're doing thing, and then we're doing
Notice I let that slide right off like water off a duck.
Wow.
Because I was on Real Radio and it got me nowhere. Um,
So that, but and then there's also it's also on a podcast on the website online. But
Oh,
the
okay.
important thing is that aren't I supposed to be asking Chris Rockwell crazy questions?
Yeah.
Is he supposed to?
you could do
If
that.
you
All
want.
right. Well,
We
Well,
have an
I gotta
open
think of one.
format here.
There's no rules.
I forgot
There's
I
no
was
rules.
I
here.
haven't thought of one yet.
No.
I haven't thought.
You know, James, you listed all those people you interviewed, but I have a question for you.
I'm ready.
Have you ever interviewed me?
Mm.
Now, I know
Not on
Jeff
my show, but
Raspy. I know Rich
Wow.
Robinson. I know them
Yeah,
guys.
but those guys don't have those. I'm independent from those guys. I don't have those guys have nothing to do with my show.
Well, that's good. Independent
I'm
is good.
Yeah.
I know.
Autonomy.
Well, I'm my own thing. I went in there with what my vision was, and I have to sort of, I have to bend a little bit of what I want to do to the confines of, the fact that the radio station has a board of directors, overseeing the college that runs the station. So, there's not everything. I can't talk about everything on the show, but I can interview anybody.
But I think you do a
don't have
great
to discuss
job.
this
And
before.
honestly, that was
We
a
just
really
haven't scheduled it
good.
out.
There you go. I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
ready. Bring me in.
Ooh, I'm
I know
into
you're
that
right.
idea. I like that idea.
I'm always willing.
What we should do, actually, Danny, and this is for the listeners out there, I should come on your show and then record that part of our conversation, and because that's basically a lot of what I do. I do a lot of pre-taping and interviewing in different locations.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I had
Yeah.
I had Rockwell
It's
and
really-
I sat
I
at my
really
kitchen
liked it.
table, and
Yeah.
I think we drank tea or coffee or
We
something.
had lemonade.
Nice.
And I
Lemonade.
did a interview with a street performer over in Germany on the street during a street performer festival.
I
It's
like
one of
what
my
it does.
first
It's cool.
episodes. So I've gotten to do a lot of things.
Okay.
But I think I'm ready for my question with Rockwell.
Go ahead.
Now, there's a pre-question before the main question. This is what number release is this as far as poetry books go? Which one is this? This is the number what?
This is actually the first book that's not a chapbook.
First printed.
There's not, well, okay, fair enough. But what about all the releases, including chapbooks? Like
Oh, maybe 6, 7.
6, 7. Okay, all right, okay. Now, there's obviously been a gradual development of your voice through that entire process. Do you feel like you're reaching your voice, or you're halfway through your voice, or you're not even there yet? Do you think?
Wow.
Have you hit your stride?
I feel like he found his voice with his interviewing, right with that one. I really feel like this book encapsulates like me pretty much as a whole. I feel really good
As a
about it.
whole, okay.
Yeah, like it's my voice has really come together in the last like I think 2 or 3 years, and
Okay.
it's how like I want to sound inside and outside of my head. Does that make sense?
Right.
So yeah,
it does,
I think
but
with
the question
the writing,
though
yeah,
is that. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. I apologize. Keep going.
I do think that this book really is the most that my voice has ever been is in these collection of poems.
Okay. Now, if you maybe complete might not have been the maybe not the definitive complete. I think maybe the more complete, because what happens is the problem is that the follow-up question is, if your voice is complete now, if you found your voice, is there room for evolution, or do you continue on this voice and this is the voice you express with, or does it continue to evolve more?
Well, your voice is only going to be your delivery. You still have to go experience life, and you're still going to have a lot of living to do. So there's still going to be plenty to write about, and your interpretations of that. The voice for me is just, did I find an authentic way to express my genuine self, and did I find a way to like marry that with my creativity and artistry, so that way I'm genuinely myself, but also technically good at crafting what I have to say.
Now, see, that strikes me as something you wouldn't have a problem with. As long as I've known you, you've never had a problem expressing your thoughts or yourself.
Sure, I can talk, but writing is so much of a different beast, because you want to be artistic about it. You want to be creative, and you also want to journey into the unknown. So I can have conversations with people, and that's an evolving thing as it happens. Writing a poem is not like that. Like writing a poem is going to be the concrete thing when you're done. Like, this is that poem. So you really have to go and push the envelope and see what you could really get out of that piece, and you have to do that every single time. So even if when a writer, I think, finds their voice, be it in songwriting or poetry or whatever, you're still going to have a lot of life left to live. And when you have that voice, you have to, you apply it to all these new experiences that you have, and new things that you learn, and that's where the evolution and growth comes in. I think.
Yeah.
But you know what? Because you called in there, big guy, what I'm going to do is when you and I meet to interview me,
Bring chocolate. We'll bring chocolate.
I will bring you Rock on Radio tchotchkes.
And chocolate.
Ah, lovely.
And you can use the pen to throw it up into the drop ceiling and hope it sticks, or coffee mug or a pencil holder, whatever it is. I even have the what? Go ahead.
You're not going to bring me like the hotel chocolates that you're pawning off on Rockwell right now?
No.
Hotel chocolates. What do you take me for?
Listen, everyone relax. Everyone, he just hasn't tasted them yet.
He hasn't tasted them yet.
When he gets one, he will be singing a different
He may
tune.
not be tasting them.
Listen, you're only spiting yourself. If you don't give him some of this chocolate, you're only spiting yourself.
Oh, you're right.
He'll go around in his little segment telling everyone that Danny Coleman show has hotel chocolates.
He has a chocolate eclair.
These are really
No one else has that.
Well, listen, thanks very much for taking my call. And I'll let you guys go.
Dude, thank you so much for calling, man. Good to hear your voice.
I only hear is laughing and cacophony out of noise. I don't know what kind of insults have been dished at me. I have no idea.
Well,
no, it was chocolate wrapper. It was chocolate wrappers. That's all.
All right, well, listen, I'll see you guys later. Take
All
care.
right, thanks.
Later, brother.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Art.
I have a question that I from my Snapchat.
Go ahead.
Joanna Lugo asked me, "What do you feel is the difference from your first chapbook to this book?" And yeah, well, the difference is that I stopped making them at Staples. That's the difference right there.
You had them
No,
published.
I'm a
That's
publisher
good.
now.
Yes.
Yeah, I published them,
Nice.
and they actually have barcodes on them, and it's actually a
Nice.
professional product. That's, I mean,
Cool.
as far
Well,
as
what are your websites? How can we find you, your music, this
well,
book?
I've been
Are you on Amazon?
developing, but yeah, actually, and it went on. The ebook went on live on iTunes this morning.
Cool.
High five! And
Yeah.
pumped. Yeah, I know. I had that last night. Woke up and got a notification like your ebook is now live on iTunes. I'm like, yes.
Cool.
But I'm developing MrChrisRockwell.com.
Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Chris
Okay.
Rockwell. Because all my
Mr..
social media is Mr. Chris Rockwell on everything: Snapchat, Twitter,
Okay.
Instagram, everything. So my website's going to be the same. But for now, I've been using my Bandcamp page, so chrisrockwell.bandcamp.com. And you could buy the books on there too, but they'll also be on distributors all over the internet too. But I've been selling them on my Bandcamp page too.
Okay. That's good.
So Joanna, I hope that answered your question, and thank you for asking it.
That's why I always like when Rockwell comes on the show, because he works the social media himself.
He does. Yeah.
You know.
It's important.
Here's
Yeah.
another question. What exactly are you doing?
What exactly are you doing?
I want you.
Kelso Nichols.
I want you to take that chocolate, put it in your mouth,
Mhm.
and then
I'm gonna snap
take a
her picture, yeah.
and send it along.
All right.
Everybody.
Take the picture. There you go. See. Uh-huh.
The answer is eating chocolate on the air.
Mhm.
Correct.
Only way to eat chocolate.
That's right. Your buddy can talk about this show all he wants, but chocolate.
Makes it. It's
Mhm.
we're chocolate
You get
covered.
more in the segment.
We're chocolate covered radio.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
many
Actually-
people have chocolate covered radio?
You know, it's
Chalk
funny.
on radio.
I'm going.
That's my show.
I'm going to point something out to you, Chris. Now I know, hopefully, it was only in jest, but you know how he said I'm on real radio, terrestrial radio.
Oh, I had a comment
know.
for that, but it kind of went by. But I have. Can I say my comment? You wanna
Sure,
hear it?
go ahead.
I have people right now listening in Spain.
Mhm.
Correct.
Exactly.
No
Worldwide.
one listens to 90.5
International.
the night in Spain.
Exactly.
Well, no.
Well, they might.
Here's the problem here. Now, see, but here's what the terrestrial stations and people who, because I actually had a journalist who, I'll tell you who it was after the show, but I actually had a journalist. I reached out to him when I switched stations, and I reached out to him and I said, look, I'm on this other station now. If you're ever stuck and you need a story, I'll gladly talk about, I've got live audience capability, YouTube capability, the whole bit.
Awesome.
He got right back to me the next day and he said, sorry, I've been doing real radio for 20 years. I have no time for internet. Quote me on
Did he
that.
realize where the world was going?
That's my point.
I
That's
love
why I
internet
was
radio.
kidding
Right?
around. That's why I was
Yeah.
kidding around. And I
Right.
said to him,
Where have you been?
say hi to the rest of the
Mhm.
dinosaurs
Right.
for me.
Right.
But the
He
point,
thought it was just terrestrial.
That's funny.
no, but the point is
This is
that
extraterrestrial radio.
these,
For ET radio.
For ET radio.
You're down on Earth trying to phone home. outta here.
these stations, these big FM stations, all can be heard online either through an app or by going to their website and clicking on listen live.
Mhm.
So they broadcast over the internet as well.
Right. Right.
It's so to a very good friend of mine pulled the same stunt on me. He said, he posted a thing on Facebook. I'm going to be on radio for the first time in 4 years. So I messaged him. I said, we broadcasted live from your shop last year. What are you talking about? I'm at real radio.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
I said,
Yeah.
okay. So I guess since I no longer write for a print publication and just online magazines, I'm not a real writer. So you probably
You're not a
shouldn't
real
reach out to
journalist.
me for
Yeah, you're not a
coverage.
journalist
Yeah,
anymore.
right.
Yeah.
Don't reach out to me for coverage anymore
Mhm.
when you have something you want to promote, because I'm not a real
Ooh,
writer.
That's salty.
His
Yeah.
response
that-
to me was, I just shot myself in the foot. Didn't
No.
I? didn't mean it like that. Come back. So yeah, I mean,
It's
and
true.
it's
It's a
something-
mindset.
Right.
It's a
Art and
mindset.
I talk about this. I've talked about this in the past. It's a matter of trying to, and you kind of touched on it a little bit too, Chris. It's a matter of trying to break down barriers and stigmas.
Mhm.
Internet radio is not real radio. There's people think of some guy or in the
Mhm.
living room in his wife beater and his jockey
Short.
shorts,
Mhm.
Which exists.
Mhm.
and,
Well, this all takes all kinds.
and or some woman in her house coat, her bathrobe, doing radio. And we're at an actual station.
Mhm.
Sure.
You can see it on YouTube.
Listen, you don't have to defend yourself.
Well, it's not
You
that.
don't
It's
have to
that
do that.
people. It's a stigma.
Mhm.
It's like that hip hop stigma you were talking about, where people think it's all,
It's a
bad
little
element.
different.
Painting
It's a little different.
broad brush. No, I mean you're.
No, broad
it's true.
brush. You're right.
Mhm.
But it's harder to get people. Will. I have a friend that owns a restaurant, Chris. I offered him free advertising in exchange for just some food on Sunday nights. Make me a tray of wings or something, right? Free advertising.
Bartering. I love
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
He said,
And we'd be a sponsor.
all right, I'll think about it. Then I know what the rates are on New Jersey 101.5.
Yeah,
And I
okay.
hear his restaurant all over NJ 101.5. And I'm thinking, I know what you pay. Now, granted, they have a much wider listening.
Right.
They
Sure, but how much are wings
a
though?
heck of a
Right.
exactly. If you own a
It
restaurant,
wouldn't hurt.
compared.
Yeah. Right.
So even if there's only 300 people listening to this program right now, that's 300 people are going to find out about that. But
Right.
like you said too,
But also your listenership is it's going to be spread out, but also the people who are local are like they are here
Mhm.
for it.
Right.
Like they want anyone who's listening to your station is here to support local artists,
Right.
local businesses.
They know what they're getting.
They're here for localism, right? So you're missing out because NJ 101.5 they might have that restaurant, but then the next commercial is for Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
So I don't really they're not here for localism.
Mhm.
That's not what it's about.
They have a
for them.
sales force.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
It's
Right.
like they're Windows by Anderson or whatever.
Here's it's
Cars by Cal.
correct. Do you know though? I went to the post office yesterday. I shipped out 3 packages. One to Oakhurst, one to New York City, and one to
Cuba.
Cuba,
Cuba!
to Cuba, Missouri.
Mhm.
Okay, it cost me $18 to
Mhm.
ship those 3 packages, and which to me was ridiculous. It cost me less to send it to Cuba, Missouri than it did to send it to New York
Wow.
and Oakhurst, which Chris could have drove on.
Right.
But these people, I'm touching people all over that way
Sure.
because I'm on the internet.
Mhm.
Which, by the way, if anybody wants to be a sponsor of this program,
Nice.
all you have to do is go to the City of Angels website, cityofangelnj.org. Click on their donation tab
And donate.
and donate.
Do
Just
it.
In the,
Any amount.
in the comments, just put Rock on Radio, and I will make you a sponsor of this program for 30 days.
That's beautiful.
I don't care what the amount is,
No,
Mhm.
that's not about that. It's about the gesture.
Mhm.
We're here. It's localism.
because
That's
here-
why I'm here because we're doing a food drive.
Yeah.
Donating my
That's
time.
awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's how the world gets by.
You think I would hang out with Danny otherwise?
It's
Oh,
the
there's a
chocolate.
motive?
Good
Doing it
point.
for the children. Here for the people.
I'm here for the chocolate.
Yeah, for the chocolate.
Mhm.
Chocolate.
I conveniently forget
Mm.
about the chocolate until I'm halfway here every single time, and then I'm like, oh right.
What are these stickers you brought?
Oh, I just brought stickers. I know you have stickers on the.
Oh, we do. We
okay.
need stickers. Thank you.
609-241-7103. If you want to give us a call here, we have a pen for you.
Yeah.
Good. I love to
We can
write things.
exchange.
I'm a writer. I love pens.
609-241-7103 if
So
you want to give us a call and talk to Mr. Rockwell. Now, you brought some other music along.
I did, yes, a song that just got released actually, and we're gonna basically debut it on air right now.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Yep.
For me,
as soon as
for me.
Art sits back down, anyway.
Art wants to
He
be a
was
part of
putting
it
his
all.
he was putting a sticker on the wall.
Art, do you want to be a part of it all?
Art disappeared. I got nervous.
I had to add that to my collection.
That's
I know that. See, we
Me
have
too.
stickers everywhere.
Yeah.
I myself will put that on my drum case.
Nice.
That's where all.
Nice.
Travel.
So whenever
Nice.
I gig, people see that.
That's
Right?
right.
So what is this other single that you just? Released?
So
what do we have?
it's actually it's Chill's song. It's called "There Goes the Neighborhood," and it's a song kind of about 2 different perspectives on gentrification.
okay.
And you're gonna love this because we collaborated with the ever talented Tara Dente. Yes.
Mm.
So she wrote the music, and we kind of I produced it. She played guitar on it, and then Will and I did the lyrics. So it was a nice little collaboration. And we played it live at Lingosta Lounge. I came up on stage and played it with us. Yeah, she's amazing. I love her.
She has definitely changed her style from what she was before she went away and then came back.
Yeah, she kind of got more of a feel for her voice, I think, and like how she wants to sound like, and she sounds like her now, and it's awesome. And I mean, I'm sure you're on the same page with me. I already loved her music
I
before.
liked her before.
Yeah, so it's like
Only get better.
now, yeah, she's gotten great, and she's gotten like just she owns the stage so much more now.
Yep.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
become more of a performer as opposed to just a player.
Oh yeah, she's
You
doing
know.
like her own percussion now on
Yeah.
stage. She could do a
Mhm.
1-man show.
Oh,
It's
I
cool.
love her
Yeah.
drum.
She's
That's
great. She could do
unbelievable.
the
I
foot
took a picture
tambourine.
of just that, just her suitcase.
That's
which is her
because it's
drum.
great.
She,
Yeah.
it's so cool.
It's part of the show. I think that people don't realize that. Like when you go there, everything about what's happening is part of your experience with that artist. So even down to the littlest details. So like when people don't care what they look like when they're on stage, I'm like, that's fine, but it's still part of your image.
Mhm.
You not caring about how
Right.
you look still
It's
says
your image.
something.
Mhm.
It still says
Yeah.
something. And when someone like her, where she takes every detail into account, and you see her foot with the tambourine strapped to it. You're like, this is great. You're just enthralled the whole
Mhm.
time.
I was just talking to, gosh, I can't remember, somebody famous.
You talked to a lot of them.
It might have been John Lodge in the Moody Blues, or
Nice.
I can't remember who else. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But the point that they were making was when you come to see them perform, everybody that goes into that show comes out with a different experience. You're all at the same show.
Mhm.
There could be 20,000 people at the same show, but there could be 20,000 different opinions.
Of course, because
It's the
one
elephant.
person's standing on one side of the stage in front of the bass player, one person's
Mhm.
standing on the other side of the stage.
And they all
all
have their
trying to play.
personal experience.
Right.
His whole point was exactly it
Mhm.
was a personal experience for everybody. He said, so I don't play the crowds, I play the individuals.
Mhm.
And it's for me, there's 20,000 individuals.
Wow.
So I want each person to take away a positive experience from what I do, as opposed to just pleasing
Mhm.
20,000 at once.
That's a really interesting perspective.
Mhm.
Like it makes sense for me to do that. I play in front of crowds of like 100 people usually. Like they're smaller numbers, like 50 to 200, around that range. I can actually make eye contact with every single person, and I could talk to them all after the show. Like those are things that are very achievable for me. It's not achievable for someone who's playing to 10,000 people. You physically can't do that. So it's like you trying to be in 5 continents in 45 minutes. This is
On the
doesn't work like
Concorde.
yeah. So
Art's working on that.
so when
Star Trek couldn't make that
so
happen.
to have that still be your mindset when you get on stage, say, I'm going to try to do that anyway. I'm going to try and have an individual experience with every one of these people. It's a marvel.
That's energy.
It's a marvel, yeah.
Life of me, I can't remember
It's a
who it was.
philosophy too, I think.
Mhm.
You have to
That's
go
how you
into
approach
it with that
people.
mindset,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, because you could be a fan. All right, take case in point.
Mhm. Mhm.
The very first concert I ever covered as a journalist, as a writer, was Green Day at Temple University.
Mhm.
Okay, very first concert I had ever covered.
I didn't know you were that cool.
Mm. You didn't?
I just thought he was
Really?
medium cool. Now he went to like next level cool.
You just
He
didn't know how
started
old those
cool.
guys were.
I have a meme I have to show you later. It's like it's Mike Dirt and Putin
Those
next to
guys
each
are
other.
like 50 years old.
And it's like this is Green Day now. Feel old yet? It's like Vladimir Putin, and they look so alike. It's scary.
Well, when I went to that concert, Chris, I could care less whether I saw Green Day or not. I mean, I liked the band,
Mhm.
but I wasn't head over heels. I thought, okay, great, Green Day.
Mhm.
I was excited about it, but if they told me, you know what, never mind, didn't come through, I wouldn't have been
Right.
losing sleep.
Heartbroken about
Right.
it.
But I got there and I saw the show, and I was totally, and I mean totally, blown away by just how good them guys were.
Yeah.
They rocked from start to finish. Matter of fact, and they pulled a stunt that to this day is one of the coolest things I've ever seen happen.
I can't wait for this.
The end of the concert, they got up. Everybody got up. The house lights came on. The place is 3/4 empty. I'm still sitting in my seats. I knew I didn't leave. I just gut feeling saying, just wait.
Hang out.
Ushers are coming over saying, okay, buddy. True story. Good, time. All of a sudden, 2 of them come out with an acoustic guitar and do Good Riddance.
Stop.
Wow.
5,000 people must have came trying to crush back into the arena. They waited till the arena was like 3/4 empty and came out and did Good Riddance. And I'm just sitting there smiling from ear to ear because I had pretty good seats, And
You could have had even better seats if everybody left.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, why didn't you get up and move to the front row?
Right? Well, it was in
I have a story
the
about that,
Leah
too.
Chorus Center, so the front row was the basketball court.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
My best friend, one of my best friends, her name is Tessa, and she's the biggest Green Day fan I know, and she'll be front row every show.
What's she doing?
Tessa,
I miss her.
she's laying low.
Yeah, I noticed.
She's doing a lot of self care, taking
Okay.
care of herself. That's what she's in right now. But she did the release show with me at the House of Independence. Crushed it.
Heck of a voice.
I know, and I gotta keep her going, and it's really hard, but she has to do what she's got to do. So, and I text her like whenever I can, almost every day.
Are they still together? The band?
No, she's doing a solo
Doing
thing.
a solo thing
I
now?
produced one of her songs. It's on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you'd want to play her on your show. Her lyrics are filthy.
Yeah, I know.
They're so good though, but there's no apologizing in it.
But
at all.
she's got an amazing
Yeah, she does.
set of pipes.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Good. I hope she listens to this.
Me too. All right. So what's this tune we're gonna play?
There Goes the Neighborhood.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
this is the
Go ahead.
debut right now. And
This a world premiere?
Chill just texted me and said it just went live on Spotify, so everyone can listen to it, but they're gonna hear it first.
So this
right here.
is the first time ever on
It's
radio.
gonna be up 100% right now. And that's what it's Chill's birthday.
No way. Today?
Yeah, today. So happy birthday to Chill, and this is what he gets. His song debuted on radio.
Did he write this? Is he the primary?
This is
song?
both. It's a collaborative.
Oh, okay.
This is the one Tara Dente did the music for.
There you go. All right. You got it, Art? All right. Fire when ready here on Rock On Radio. World premiere.
There goes the neighborhood. 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 Sometimes all we have is our fight. The fire in our hearts will ignite the night. We'll incite the riots, set this town ablaze. Spent too many of our days lost in the maze. The people want change, you see it in their gaze. The sidewalk is cracked, that's the way that it stays. The streets are so ugly, I'm surprised they're paved. Potholes so big they're deep enough to be graves. I wander through the town, now I'm catching flashbacks. My friends on the corner and they're selling fat cash. And just last year there were buildings here. But somebody moved back the veil, they all disappeared. It's a mountain of rubble, a town down in its dark. A phone comes over, hits me up for a buck. I looked him in the face and after a long sigh said I can't help you, sir, you have the wrong guy. There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood. He asked me what I deal with the pressure for. Why I keep my life savings in the back of someone else's dressing drawer. Said the doctors are just soldiers who get out prescription pills. Feel bad an orange bottle of ammunition killed. And down the drain, we fell. We know that pain well. We meander daylight when we're crushing brain cells. The lost souls who walk without faces. Tripping in the street like we forgot to tie our shoelaces. He watched his own name drip down the gutter pipe. Reminded him of himself from some other life. The kind that leaves you feeling droll. The kind of life that escapes you like you're prepped when you're breathing the cold. On the bit of a fist knife, broken bottles and fist fights. You never expected chasing that would feel this night. I saw his lips moving, but I ain't heard a word, but he was talking as he flipped the nickel into his cup, and I kept walking. There goes my neighborhood. 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 Yeah. If you knew better, you do better. I know now. No matter style, the hood niggas my profile. Don't nobody care about the people ahead. You get ate alive if you soft, if you scared. So watch it for the cracks in the road. Watch the type of people you will right to your home. I mean, this is my community. Poverty ain't nothing new to me. My light-skinned mother getting robbed for jewelry. Dear God, how I carry myself another murder. I think that I should carry myself. Where's the love? Ain't nobody asking for that. What is drugs? Probably got tossed in the grass. I'm out of focus. Too dirty to ever notice that the cracks full of blood in the walls are corroded. We are the peons, suburbia like the neons. Blowing in the dark, too black for you to see us. But these people don't feel like me. They don't like act dressed to get killed like me. I don't take it lightly. If this is ring fight me, I'm charged up, but that's all it takes to indict me. There goes the neighborhood. 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 There goes the neighborhood.
That's us.
Yup.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yep. There went.
Happy
There went the
birthday to
neighborhood.
Chill Smith.
Happy birthday.
That's it.
Woo-hoo.
Happy birthday.
He got a world premiere for his birthday.
to you.
Oh no. Oh,
Happy
no.
birthday.
Oh no.
Your present is I will not sing.
There you go, Chill. That's your gift from art.
That's actually from a movie where somebody was like pretending to be Sinatra. I can't remember, and I think that's what they're
Godfather?
doing. They're like, "Happy birthday."
Okay, so can I tell you a story about this?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Please do.
So Tara recorded the guitar like sitting on the floor of my bedroom. She's like came up with it, and I just like what? And I just liked it. It was so simple, but it was
Okay.
good. So I
Mhm.
tracked that, and she recorded it with her iPhone.
Nice.
That's the actual take from her
Wow.
iPhone,
Nice.
and sent it
That's
in.
piano or the
So that's the guitar.
okay.
And like I sent it to him, and he loved it. And we wrote. I had some stuff that I kind of like already had, and then he wrote something to it, and I was like, I think I had something that would go with that. So I kind of took some rhymes I had on stash and like kind of tweaked them a little bit to go with more like what he was doing. So then I was like, it needs something to change up at the end because that guitar could get really
Mhm.
repetitive. And I was talking to her about it. She was like, we need to maybe do piano or something like that. I was like, well, where do you want to do that? That could be cool. So you have you been to the Jersey Shore Arts Center? It's the old Neptune High School.
Yes.
They turned that into a whole art center over there now. And you know how they have like pianos all over the place in there. Well, there was an antique upright in the Cafe Artiste upstairs, and they unlocked it for us like early in the day one day. We went in there and like mic'd up the piano in the Jersey Shore Arts Center, and she played all of that, and he recorded it on his laptop like sitting on the floor, and like we were tracking there, and then sent it over to me, and I mixed everything, and that's why the end of that song like has that huge
Mhm.
turn because the piano and the guitar sounded great like melodically, but the tone was so different that I was like, let's just throw a whole drastic change in at the end of his verse, and it just worked, and he wrote it right on out. It was so cool. Yeah, and she's like such a trooper too.
You know what the best part of Jersey Shore Art Center is?
No, tell me.
It's not in Asbury.
It's located directly across the street from Clancy's.
That's what Clancy's.
He's Irish. You have to
Yeah,
forgive
but
him.
I mean, how Irish?
What?
It has sushi, I hear. Didn't they?
Just Irish sushi.
Didn't
Clancy's
Pamela say
is-
something about
Clancy's is
sushi?
I
questionable.
don't know. Some things you pass on.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I know exactly.
Thank you,
That's what
Art.
I'm saying.
Clancy's.
I don't know.
Clancy's is a total dive, but I love
Is
it.
it?
Clancy's is questionable at best.
As
I'm
far as what goes.
I'm not eating sushi there.
Art had. Art,
There you go.
You and I had dinner at Clancy's.
Again, the food was good. I'm not eating sushi there.
It's an Irish
And-
pub,
and I
right? Or
like
something?
sushi.
Do you know where they do have sushi? Very good sushi.
Land goes to Lounge.
Langosta Lounge.
They just said
That's right.
that,
November
yeah.
16th and 17th.
I'll have to try this.
The Making Ways
Show up, turn up.
Hunger and Homeless benefit. That's right.
Mhm.
Show up, turn up.
Turnip show up.
Turnips?
Turnips? Ooh, turnips.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I
You have another question?
Yeah. Someone asked who let the dogs out. Oh, Chill.
Oh,
Chill goes, I want to know who let the dogs out.
well, that's a good question.
You
Who?
answer it.
Who?
That's exactly.
Get to the bottom of this right now.
Being a dog whisperer, apparently it's me.
Yeah.
I have to let the dogs out. I get to watch my buddy's dogs when they go away.
You get
sister's
everybody's
dog
dog.
when they go away.
You a dog sitter?
The official dog sitter.
I'm the official
Mm.
dog sitter. Yes,
I see.
so I did.
He gets
That's all you do.
no benefits
Like
from
that,
this.
like that
whatsoever.
guy on whatever channel that was, Animal
Mhm.
Planet, Animal Kingdom. Animal
Actually, Facebook did answer the question about who let the dogs out. They showed you. You have to Google it.
You hear that, Chill? Google it.
Google it.
Happy birthday. Go Google it yourself.
That's right. Go Google yourself.
Google is your friend.
Go Google.
Sounded like every day at homework time with my kids. Google it.
Google it.
Blake
Oh,
Morrison.
you had Google for homework?
I had
Not
to
me
take
personally. I mean,
No.
we had dirt.
when I was a kid, right?
I was going to say, we had
There
Google.
was no
Kid, I had to
internet.
take the
Encyclopedia
hand truck. Yeah, you
Britannica.
get the encyclopedia.
Blake Morrison asked, "Can I still purchase a copy of your book on Bandcamp? Sorry, I feel obscured. And yes, my head is in the clouds. Much love, Blake." Yes, Blake, you can get my
Pre-order.
book. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, right. Second printing.
yeah, right. You got to pre-order. I'm gonna order more, and I will send one out as soon as they come in. It's at www.chrisrockwell.bandcamp.com in the merch section, and you can buy one. And if you order one, I'm gonna stuff it with a bunch of stickers and other fun zines and stuff. So you'll get a bunch of free stuff to go with it.
Nice.
Nice.
Because I love bringing people free stuff.
Hmm.
I'm eating fruit snacks. Fruit snacks.
How much did you pay for them?
Well, Claire, I don't know. You brought these.
I brought them.
Free 99.
Yep.
Mhm.
Aldi's.
Would you like a fruit snack, Mr. Rockwell?
I would not.
So yeah, I do. I
Thank
do
you, though.
chocolate, but every once in a while, you need to have a little like.
See, for
Different.
those of you watching at home on radio, on
Mhm.
the YouTube thing, which can be found on the City of Angels site,
I'll go home and eat an apple.
You
that's
will. You
one of them
promise?
there raspberry.
Mhm. Oh, it's fruit. Fruit.
Hmm.
You feel like you're eating fruit?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's my intake.
It's your daily intake of
Mhm.
5 servings of fruit.
That doesn't count.
I know it doesn't. Well, it's actually all natural. I
You're
think.
doing all wrong.
This could be why that guy's never had me on the show.
He's eating. He's drinking. He's
I'm
drinking
confused.
milk.
Like, I was over
Milky
here eating
water.
real fruit.
He's drinking.
Everything I do is fake.
How do you live with yourself?
Well, I can't. So other than the Macon thing, you're leaving for the tour in November, you said? Anything in
Actually,
between?
the 30th of this month.
Okay.
So.
Oh, you'll be
9
back for the
days.
Macon thing.
Yes, that's the the
Mhm.
welcome home show. We'll be gone for like 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. A little more than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sure.
You don't like it?
Nice.
Yeah.
It's great to travel.
I want to go on tour.
I
You
can-
do.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
What do you want to tour?
All right.
We can
I'm
do
good
this.
for that.
You're down with it.
I actually had an artist come on my show one time. And at the end of the program, I said, "So what's the future hold? What are you going to do? Any upcoming gigs?" "Well, I'm going on tour next week." I said, "Oh, really? Where are you going?" "Well, I'm going to start with a show in New York."
Okay.
I think he was playing like Kenny's Castaways or something. We're still open back then. you know?
Okay.
He says, "Then I got a show in New Hope at John and Peters.
Okay.
Then I got one in Philly.
Okay.
And then I got one." I can't remember where he said it was.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Okay." I said, "So when's the tour start?" Well, that's the tour. I said, "No, dude, if you're sleeping in your own bed every night, you're not on tour."
It's just not gonna work.
Not tour. Not the tour.
Mm-mm.
How do you answer that?
The first 3 dates are cool if you're from Jersey.
Okay,
That's cool because
Mhm.
they're all
You're
out of
starting.
state. That's all out of
Mhm.
state. That's cool. But like they can't be the whole thing
Right.
because otherwise you're just playing shows.
Yeah,
New York,
exactly.
New
You're
Hope.
driving home.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Right.
And let me tell you something. Those gigs are great to include on your tour to bookend
Mhm.
your tour.
Your tour is more than 90 minutes away.
Yeah, it has right. Like you have a couple gigs like in Philly and New York at the beginning of your tour. You're doing like something like Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, or some cool like that. Like at the end of your tour, like to bookend
Right.
it, that's cool. And then in the middle, you go out to Ohio or up to New England. There's so many great spots to play. Boston,
Mhm.
Portland, up there, like Hartford. Like you can do a tour and not go that far, but you got to be like, you can't be coming home.
Right. Well, you're from
You can't
Jersey.
be
I mean, you have
sleeping
some
out.
good spots to go. I mean, you're not from Ohio.
If
You know
you're
what I mean?
going to go on a tour, you got to
Right.
be in a beat up van with your instruments, and
Smelly shoes.
smelly shoes.
Listen, I don't know, man. It's 2018. I got an Acura MDX parked outside. It's all-wheel drive, and we're getting in and get ready to go.
We had a 26-foot rider truck with a sleeper cab.
See?
Rider.
Now that's a tour.
That's a tour.
Now that's
And that's a band.
Okay, the last tour was in the
Carrying everything with us: lights, sound, stage.
And if they
no.
impound it, you're in
Luggage.
trouble.
No.
Actually, they stole it in Miami. We had to get-
When I did the Stickball Social Club, we went out to Youngstown, Ohio. We played some dates out there,
Now that's a tour.
and it wasn't even that long.
Unless
but,
you're from Youngstown.
but here's how I know it was a tour. Ready? This is how I know. The
Unless
whole
you're from
band got in.
Pittsburgh.
It was a Denali. Whole band got in. All the drums, all the amps, all the instruments. Okay, and there was no room for luggage.
Uh-oh.
So we got a turtle shell
Mm-hmm.
for the top, and I strapped it to my roof. I put it on my rooftop, and we put all our clothes in the top and locked it closed. And then we were like in there, and every time someone wanted something, they couldn't get to it because it was on the roof. And I'm like, this is a tour.
That's right.
That's right.
That's how the tour works.
Correct.
The
Now that's
dude-
a tour.
We almost put Andrew, our drummer, on the roof, and that would have. But I mean,
I remember the Stickball Social Club.
yeah,
days, man.
Andrew came with us. He did he did hand drums for
Yep,
when we did.
he came on the show with Jason.
He's one of my favorite people, Andrew.
He was playing for a couple of different bands.
Yeah, I still play with him.
Do you?
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. He's like one of my favorite. He came out to my book signing last night too.
Very
He's a
cool.
good friend, and he's a tremendous musician. He's like a real
No, he's a
bad
good
drummer.
drummer.
Yeah,
Great drummer.
he really is.
Yeah, well, we got about 20 minutes. Are you going to do something live for us? Or
Yeah,
what are
I
we
can
gonna
do something.
Go ahead.
I can do something. What are we gonna do? Ooh, I could do. This is great. I'm gonna do an acapella verse from 10 Years in the Breaking, which I wrote on tour.
That was a great title, man.
Thank you.
That's the last time you were in
You know
here.
what? This is perfect. This is perfect because this literally is about that Ohio show I was just talking about, like the festival we played Ballyhoo out there.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, you did.
We played Ballyhoo, and then a couple other. We had some other gigs too. The best part about that was that we stayed at the Comfort Inn, and they paid for our lodging when we went out there the first
Okay.
year. When they invited us back the second year, we went there, and the sign said "Welcome back, Stickball Social Club" in like the.
Oh, little marquee.
That was one of the coolest things. Like we went to sleep and woke up the next morning, and they knew we checked in, and they put it out there. We went out. We walked out to the parking lot and took our picture next to the sign.
in your pajamas.
I don't wear pajamas. I just sleep like whatever I'm wearing. I don't
Nice.
changing it. It's tour.
It's on
Bring
tour.
your pajamas on tour.
Bring pajamas.
You never know when you got to get up and go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You bring clothes.
Bail. Just bail money. No tour.
So what happened was we were hanging out in the hotel room, and they out there. This was new to me at the time. You just go to a convenience store and they just sell liquor. It's like
Oh, yeah.
It's not like a liquor store. It's like you go into
Convenience
Go
store.
to Exxon.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's like I'm in Cumberland
station.
Farms, and they just have like
right.
we're walking around like, what is this place? Is this real? And they had just an end cap of giant jugs of rum for $5 with like no brand name on it. It's just like just a rum across it. And I was like, now I don't drink much.
Uncle Red's moonshine.
Some whatever it was, man,
Yeah.
it was questionable. It was like probably something they serve at Clancy's.
Nice.
So we're out there, and I'm like, and
Note to self.
my
Check on
my
that.
guitar player looks at it and he's like, whoa, this rum is $5. And I'm like looking over, and the next end cap was all RC 2-liter,
bottles.
yeah,
Ooh,
for
rum and
99
Coke.
cents. And I got more excited for the RC cola than he got for the rum. So we looked at each other. He's like, rum and Coke. So I was like, okay, I can get behind this one time. So this is actually called RC cola and $5 rum.
Mm.
Take a
Beautiful.
little sip first.
$6, man. You got God knows how many rum and cokes.
I gotta
Chris
get in my
Rockwell
little zone
here
right here.
on Rum and Coke Radio.
I'm driving through the night. 4 a.m. got me like I'm driving all night. And 4 a.m. got me like luggage in the roof rack, guitars in the truck. All the while I get by on toll money and luck. Other side of the country, look how far we've come. But still mixing RC cola with $5 rum. The college girls see us on stage, they want to kick it. We invite them out to the show and we comp the tickets. But all I really want is some conversation. All I get is body language that's lost in translation. I'm ambitious, charismatic, and cunning, but I'm self-destructive and constantly running. I can't tell if I'm escaping or whether or not this world was mine for the taking. They say that I would blow up like I was born on the bomb site. They don't know that it's darkest just beyond the spotlight. On the verge of getting all I ever wanted, suited up for the full dress rehearsal, but the clothes are haunted, and I finally understood what they meant back then when they said thanks, but no thanks. I got enough friends. It never meant they don't want you there. They just want you to prove that you care. Now, I'm not social, I just got an honest smile, but I still got to force it to my face once in a while. So when I crash, I do it elegantly. Just handle my sharp edges delicately. 10 years in the breaking. Thank you.
Woo! Nice.
Chris Rockwell.
Woo!
Thank you.
609-241-7103. We got about 15 minutes left. If you want to give us a call, we'll send out something to you. We got some Rock On Radio bumper stickers, pens, the infamous Rock On Radio lube we can dispense. I don't know what else. We'll
The
find
Rock
something else.
On Radio lube.
We got what? We got Jack Furlong CDs.
That's right.
It was
Get your Jack Furlong
CD.
CD.
We got a
Woo!
whole case of them.
Whole
sitting in
case
the
of
corner.
them.
For those of you who like
Posters.
jazz, yeah.
Jazz?
Posters. Mhm.
You
I
can
get
take
down
one
with-
if you want.
Ooh, I can get down with some jazz. We did the Asbury Underground 2 weeks ago, and we had a poetry and jazz event. It was the first year we did it. It was awesome, packed.
Now, Asbury Underground, where is that?
It's super cool. It's organized by a few people. Rick Barry is one of the organizers. Christine
Okay.
Fiola, she does a
Right.
great job. So it's kind of like there's pop-up shows all over the
Asbury, right?
downtown
Yeah.
area. Yeah. And they're in the cafes, they're in the bars, but also you can walk into a clothing store and there's an acoustic show going on, or the little bakery has someone playing, in there. And we were in Word's bookstore doing the poetry, the spoken word. And then they booked us, myself and Chelsea Palermo, who is a tremendous poet and also does the Dodge Poetry Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, which is huge. And so she and I kind of facilitated and organized the 2 poetry events this year. It was the first year they did 2. And both of them hit. It was great. The second one that we did, they were almost back to back too. There was a half hour between the first one and the second one. So we had to pick up the tribe and move them like around the corner. And we were at High Voltage,
Okay.
which is an awesome spot. It was my first time in there and it was great. And Marty Schmidt and Chelsea's, her dude, Greg, who's an awesome bass player. They were like playing some jazz behind us and we were going up and people would just jump on the mic and do like some spoken word with the jazz vibes. And like people kept jumping on and off and it was so awesome. And it was like easy. It was cake. Like everyone just like got so into it so like easily.
Who was that comedian? Mitch Hedberg. Remember
Oh,
Mitch
yeah,
Hedberg
yeah,
used
for
to
sure.
always have an upright bass player behind him, just playing.
Wait,
throughout
did he? He was the one?
Used to have an upright bass player.
He's the one
Probably
like
90% of his shows. he
I
had an
used to
upright
do
bass
drugs. I mean, I still do, but I used to too.
player. Yeah, he was the one who used to talk about club sandwiches.
Do I know that one?
Like a club sandwich. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get some bread and cut it into triangles. I'm at a club. You can't come in unless you eat club sandwiches. Let's form a club.
He's got a few really good.
Oh,
ones.
he was. That's a shame. He left us way too early.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite spoken word artist or poet? Or
So that kind of changes. Usually from when I hear more.
as I recall, your friend Janelle was.
Yes,
Quite the
she's a
artist.
tremendous. Yeah, she's a tremendous poet and writer. She published a few books too.
Okay.
Um,
Any plans for you to publish one?
Sure, absolutely. This is like after how well it's been going so far. I mean, the book was out yesterday, and between pre-orders and last night, I have to order more already. So, like, I have to.
Great.
This feels right,
And the book is called.
True Romantic Loser.
Go ahead. You want to elaborate on that?
Wait. Well, I was going to answer your. What was the other question? Who
I don't know. I just asked you
favorites?
about 10.
Yeah. Okay, but no, I do have favorite spoken word artists. I do. I really love. There's a poem by Slangston Hughes down in Baltimore that he did at Nationals, and it like blew me away. And I got turned on to him. He's awesome. I love Saul Williams is one of my earliest influences. Um, Sage Francis is a huge influence because he's very much like me, where he did spoken word and hip hop, and like he tours very DIY, built his own record label, so he's a huge influence. He's one of my favorite artists in general. And trying to think of like who else. I've really been into more page poetry lately. So like Danny Romaine Powell, Billy Collins, I like. Bob Hickok is awesome. That's kind of what I've been more into, like page stuff. I've been reading a lot more. But as far as spoken word poets, yeah, them. Jeffrey McDaniel, he's great. He's another one. He has a poem called the Foxhole Manifesto. It's about like how he came to his understanding of with God, because you know that old saying, "There's no atheists in foxholes."
Right.
So his that poem is called the Foxhole Manifesto. It's super cool. And there's an animated like clip that goes along with it. So when you look it up on YouTube, there's a cartoon that's kind of spooky that goes along. It's cool. He's a tremendous writer too. So that's kind of like what I've been on. Some of my favorites.
Okay.
For the book, I think that I called it True Romantic Loser because there's like it's the first time in my life that I really felt like I'm enough, just in general, just that I'm just enough. And I think that by a lot of people's standards, like the way I live, it's like, like I just scrape by. I don't have a lot of money. I'm doing everything. Like I don't have a publishing deal. I don't have a record deal. It's like I think people think I'm a loser.
Oh, you're like the general population.
Yeah, kind of.
Son,
My son.
Danny just looked at me like I was Luke Skywalker and he's Darth Vader at the end.
I am your father.
I don't
And did you look? I was gonna say, did you look back like that is Darth Vader?
love you, Dad.
Financial
Dad.
Take my
mismanagement.
hand. Take my
Financial
hand.
mismanagement is hereditary.
We never related to each other so hard before.
You can hear my thoughts.
Did you give him a hand?
It's too real. It's too real.
He's even wearing black.
No, it's just like, and you know what? There's some comments that people have made, especially as people I graduated with, about like just what I'm doing with myself, and they kind of like, I wanted to act like they didn't sting, but they did. But like I've finally moved past that, and
Okay.
I think like calling the book that was me owning it and like just kind of like facing it and saying like embracing it and this I'm what I am.
That's what I
And,
am.
yeah,
Mhm.
and it's one of those like
Deal.
you can't. I just took the power away from you. You can't call me that thing,
Right.
right? Because I know that I'm not anymore. But I totally am.
But you know it.
Yeah,
And you could save yourself.
totally am.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like I just sometimes I'm like, I'm such a loser.
Yeah.
Like people think I'm so social, but I'm not. Like they think I'm social because I'm out gigging all the time. So it's Friday and Saturday night. I'm in I'm at the Asbury Park Yacht Club, and there's 90 people in there. And it's like, this is great.
But isn't that normal for artists? Aren't most artists introverts?
I don't
In a lot of
necessarily
ways.
think most musicians are. Like a lot of musicians, like there are bands and artists, especially in like that area, who they're hanging out at the bars all the time, and they're being social.
Yeah.
And like that's part of where they get their following, because they make friends and their friends show up to their shows. And you can get your friends to show up once, that's good. But when you're good, they'll keep showing up, and
Well-
that's what happens. Like they'll show up and watch you once as a courtesy. When you get up on stage and like throw down, like Renee Maskin from Lowlight, she's amazing.
That's the show I missed.
Yeah, she's
night.
amazing. Are you kidding me? But like, I showed up just to check her out, and I was like, no, I just need to go see her whenever I can, and I do, because she's dope,
Yeah.
and her whole band is dope, and I love that record, and like, but she has people who just show up because they just knew her, and then it turns out she's amazing.
Yep.
So I think that she's like an example of like I see her out like at people's shows.
She needs the energy.
Yeah, and it kind of like keeps me from being a homebody all the time because I'll just sit at home and write and just create stuff and like, but I'll be home and I'm like, get out.
Well, I remarked, as you recall, at the beginning of the program about how I'm kind of back out there now, getting back out there.
Yeah, totally.
Really out there.
About 4 years ago, I had knee surgery, and it was right around the same time where, for lack of a better way to say it, I ran out of money. Okay. So I had the double whammy. You know, I was at the point, do I put 20,
you couldn't work and earn money and then you didn't have money to get yourself back to work.
Do I put $20 in my truck to get to work this week, or do I put $20 in my truck and go to Asbury to that open mic, or go to see this show, or go to see that show? And it got to a point where, because my back injury that I sustained in 2009, and then after 3 years of unemployment, pretty much wiped out every bit of cash I had in the bank, because I was living out of my savings account. And when you have things like child support and a truck payment and things that you have to do,
it adds up.
Figured, so many people I knew from being a UPS guy, I'm bound to get a job. All those people who said, when you retire, come see us, we'll hire you in a heartbeat.
Didn't work like that.
None of them. None. Zero came through. So what had happened was, I kind of hit the skids a little bit.
Sure.
And so it made it very difficult to get out and see new artists and see what Chris Rockwell was up to and do that networking that needs to be done, as you said, to ensure that people want to come on Rock on Radio, that people, that it's still a viable thing. So that was when I began to concentrate more on the Trenton music scene because it was closer.
Sure.
Unfortunately, 99% of the bands, with the exception of Honey's Pop Boulevard and Charles Larita, are cover bands. So, and I've done articles on each of them. I don't know how many times, but excuse me. You try to do what you can within the realm that's.
You do what you can where you are with what you got.
Yeah, but
that's it.
In this business, that's not always acceptable. You really are here today, gone tomorrow. All the contacts I had down the Jersey Shore, all the artists I would pick up gigs with, all the artists that would come on this radio show, I go there now. It's like they look at me and who's that? Who is that guy? Whereas I'd walk into places before and say, hey, can I come on your show? Hey,
sure.
I'm just a total stranger now to a lot of these people.
Well, I want to commend you because I really value that and I really respect that you just kind of shared all that. Because part of the image is that you have to, like, when you're an artist and when you're a performer, you want everyone to see you rising to the top, being on the top, just killing it all the time because that's what they want to follow. But I think there's a shift going on right now, which is that, especially with my generation, with millennials, that we're over the crap. Like we're trying to cut through the crap cake here. Can you just give me something real? And when I started to just admit that I was feeling depressed or feeling anxious or just being like a homebody because I was broke, people actually started connecting with me more. And it was something I didn't want to do for a long time because I'm like, it's tough. When you're a poet or when you're a musician, you get on stage, you show people so much of yourself and what's going on in your heart and what's going on in your head and what's going on in your guts. You know what I mean? You just leave it on stage sometimes. When you get off stage, sometimes you're like, I don't want to tell anybody anything else. I don't want them to know about my 9-to-5 job or my problems with my girlfriend or whatever, because you're like, I need to keep something for myself, for my sanity. But when you can learn that you have to balance yourself, you have to, like, you might have a stage persona, you have your personality that's, authentically you, and you have to try and balance them because they both coexist in the same body. When you can do that and do it successfully, I found that people were connecting with me, and like my fan base grew a little bit smaller, but a lot stronger. Like they were like following me around. They were becoming friends with each other, going on my event pages and deciding who was jumping in carpools, and like people would show up and who met in a parking lot to go to my show, And I'm saying, this is what I'm doing it for, and I can't be just saying, yeah, I can't just be saying I'm on the way to the top all the time because it's not real and people know that it's not real. So so for you to be on air and even admit is everything you did, I really connect with that. And it's things like that. You don't understand that when you do that, when I do that, whoever is listening feels more confident that they can do that. It's huge.
Yeah. There's a screenshot I have on my phone. Not to belabor the point because we've only got a couple minutes left, but there's a screenshot, Chris, that I have on my phone that shows my combined checking and savings account at one point. At one point, I had almost $100,000 in the bank.
Wow.
Throw in a back injury, 3 years of unemployment, paying bills.
What are you going to do?
Paying to keep a roof over my kids' heads. There was one point I was down to $17 to my name.
Yeah.
$17. I could show you the
combined,
screenshot.
Sure.
And there were times I just looked at it and cried. I was almost homeless. Literally almost homeless.
Yeah, I believe it.
And one thing I did though, I never stopped.
That's what I'm talking about.
I refused.
You rock on.
Tenacity.
You rock on.
Somebody said that to me one time. Somebody said I had interviewed a woman who does art. She has an art studio in Lambertville. And her and I were talking about it. And she said, I don't think I'm successful because I'm better than anybody else. I just think I'm more tenacious. I didn't give up.
Tenacious.
Yep, that's it.
Also, I think people have such a weird like success. They just ingrain it to us when we're so young. Success is money.
Right.
Success is just setting a goal and achieving it. That's it.
But on social media,
Right.
media, anybody can be successful. Because if you listen to half the people on Facebook, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. I've actually had relatives in my family that I don't see that often come to me and say, "Man, you're doing so well for yourself. You own a radio station." I'm like, "I do."
Right?
You're writing for the paper. If they only,
Dude,
I don't go out there and say that I'm successful. I just post what I got coming up or who I've interviewed. But we got to wrap it up because it's 9 o'clock on the nose. Chris, thank you so much, man.
Thank you always for having me, and thank you to Bob Macon.
November 16th and 17th, Langosta Lounge, Asbury Yacht Club, Asbury Park Yacht Club, making waves benefit for the homeless.
Yep.
And to fight hunger. So hungry and homeless. That was me. All right. Thanks, Chris, man.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Rock on.
Rock on.